Part I of Antigone. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Expatriate in Bangor, Maine. Antigone by Sophocles. Translated by Edward Hayes Plumtree, 1821-1891. Part I. Dramatis Personae. Creon, king of Thebes, Haemon, son of Creon, Tiresias, a seer, guard, first messenger, second messenger, Eurydice, wife of Creon, Antigone and Ismene, daughters of Oedipus, chorus of Theban elders. Argument. After the death of Oedipus, Antigone and Ismene returned to Thebes, and lived in the king's house with Eteocles their brother. But the 7 great captains from Argos, whom Polyneikes had called to help him, came against Thebes to destroy it, and were hardly driven back. And the 2 brothers having died by each other's hands, the people of the city made Creon their king, as being wise and prudent, and next of kin to the dead. And he issued his decree that Eteocles should be buried with due honour, but that no man should dare to bury Polyneikes, who had come purposing to lay waste the city and all the temples of the gods. Antigone. Scene. Thebes in front of the palace, early morning, hills in the distance on the left, on the right the city. Enter Antigone and Ismene. Antigone. Ismene, mine own sister, darling one, is there of ills that sprang from Oedipus one left that Zeus will fail to bring on us, the 2 who yet remain? Naught is there sad, naught full of sorrow, steeped in sin or shame, but I have seen it in thy woes and mine. And now, what new decree is this they tell, our captain has enjoined on all the state? Know'st thou? Hast heard? Or are they hid from thee, the ills that come from foes upon our friends? Ismene. No tidings of our friends, Antigone, pleasant or painful, since that hour have come, when we 2 sisters lost our brothers twain, in one day dying by a 2-fold blow. And since in this last night the Argive host has left the field, I nothing further know, nor brightening fortune, nor increasing gloom. Antigone. That knew I well, and therefore sent for thee beyond the gates, that thou mayst hear alone. Ismene. What meanest thou? It is but all too clear thou broodest darkly o'er some tale of woe. Antigone. And dost not Creon treat our brothers twain, one with the rites of burial, one with shame? Eteocles, so say they, he interred fitly, with wonted rites, as one held meet to pass with honour to the dead below. But for the corpse of Polyneikes, slain so piteously, they say, he has proclaimed to all the citizens that none should give his body burial, or bewail his fate, but leave it still unwept, unsepulchred, a prize full rich for birds that scent afar their sweet repast. So Creon bids, they say, Creon the good, commanding thee and me. Yes, me, I say. And now is coming here to make it clear to those who know it not, and counts the matter not a trivial thing. But whoso does the things that he forbids, for him there waits within the city walls the death of stoning. Thus, then, stands thy case. And quickly thou wilt show if thou art born of noble nature, or degenerate liv'st, base child of honoured parents. Ismene. How could I, O daring in thy mood, in this our plight, or breaking law or keeping, aught avail? Antigone. Wilt thou with me share risk and toil? Look to it. Ismene. What risk is this? What purpose fills thy mind? Antigone. Wilt thou help this my hand to lift the dead? Ismene. Mean'st thou to bury him when law forbids? Antigone. He is my brother. Yes, and thine, though thou wouldst fain he were not. I desert him not. Ismene. O daring one, when Creon bids thee not. Antigone. He has no right to keep me from mine own. Ismene. Ah me! Remember, sister, how our sire perished, with hate o'erwhelmed and infamy, from evils that himself did bring to light, with his own hand himself of eyes bereaving, and how his wife and mother, both in one, with twisted cordage cast away her life. And thirdly, how our brothers in one day in suicidal conflict wrought the doom, each of the other. And we twain are left. And think, how much more wretchedly than all we twain shall perish, if against the law we brave our sovereign's edict and his power. This first we need remember, we were born women, as such, not made to strive with men. And next, that they who reign surpass in strength, and we must bow to this, and worse than this. I then, entreating those that dwell below to judge me leniently as forced to yield, will hearken to our rulers. Over zeal that still will meddle, little wisdom shows. Antigone. I will not ask thee, nor though thou shouldst wish to do it, shouldst thou join with my consent. Do what thou wilt, I go to bury him. And good it were in doing this to die. Loved I shall be with him whom I have loved, guilty of holiest crime. More time is mine in which to share the favour of the dead than that of those who live, for I shall rest for ever there. But thou, if thus thou please, count as dishonoured what the gods approve. Ism. I do them no dishonour, but I find myself too weak to war against the state. Antig. Make what excuse thou wilt. I go to rear a grave above the brother whom I love. Ism. Ah, wretched me! How much I fear for thee! Antig. Fear not for me. Thine own fate raise safety. Ism. At any rate, disclose this deed to none. Keep it close hidden. I will hide it too. Antig. Speak out, I bid thee. Silent, thou wilt be more hateful to me, if thou fail to tell my deed to all men. Ism. Fiery is thy mood, although thy deeds the very blood might chill. Antig. I know I please the souls I ought to please. Ism. Yes, if thou canst. Thou seek'st the impossible. Antig. When strength shall fail me, then I'll cease to strive. Ism. We should not hunt the impossible at all. Antig. If thou speak thus, my hatred wilt thou gain, and rightly wilt be hated of the dead. Leave me and my ill counsel to endure this dreadful doom. I shall not suffer aught so evil as a death dishonourable. Ism. Go then, if so thou wilt. Of this be sure, wild as thou art, thy friends must love thee still. [Exeunt. Enter Chorus of Theban Elders. Strophe I. Chorus. O light of yon bright sun, fairest of all that ever shone on Thebes, Thebes with her 7 high gates, thou didst appear that day. Eye of the golden dawn, o'er Dirce's streams advancing, driving with quickened curb in haste of headlong flight, the warrior who in panoply of proof from Argos came with shield of glittering white, whom Polyneikes brought, roused by the strife of tongues against our fatherland, as eagle shrieking shrill, he hovered o'er our land with snow‐white wing bedecked, begirt with myriad arms and flowing horsehair crests. Antistrophe I. He stood above our towers, encircling, with his spears all blood bestained, the portals of our gates. He went before he filled his jaw with blood of men, ere the pine‐fed Hephaestus had seized our crown of towers, so loud the battle din, that Ares' love was raised around his rear, a conflict hard e'en for his dragon foe. For breath of haughty speech Zeus hateth evermore, and seeing them advance with mighty rushing stream, and clang of golden arms, with brandished fire he hurls one who rushed eagerly from topmost battlement to shout out victory. Strophe II. Crashing to earth he fell, down smitten with his torch, who came with madman's haste, drunken with frenzied soul, and swept o'er us with blasts, the whirlwind blasts of hate. Thus on one side they fare, and Ares great, like war horse in his strength, smiting now here, now there, brought each his several fate. For 7 chief warriors at the 7 gates met, equals with equals matched, to Zeus, the Lord of War, left tribute arms of bronze. All but the hateful ones, who from one father and one mother sprung, stood wielding hand to hand their 2 victorious spears, and had their doom of death as common lot. Antistrophe 2. But now, since victory of mightiest name hath come To Thebes, of chariots proud, joying and giving joy, after these wars just past, learn ye forgetfulness, and all night long with dance and voice of hymns let us go round in state to all the shrines of gods, while Bacchus, making Thebes resound with dance, begins the strain of joy. But lo, our country's king, Creon, Meneceus' son, new ruler by new change and providence of God, comes to us, steering on some new device. For lo, he hath convened by herald's loud command this council of the elders of our land. Enter Creon. Creon. My friends, for what concerns our commonwealth, the gods who vexed it with the billowing storms have righted it again. And I have sent by special summons, calling you to come apart from all the others. This, in part, as knowing ye did all along uphold the might of Laius' throne, in part again, because when Oedipus our country ruled, and when he perished, then towards his sons ye still were faithful in your steadfast mind. And since they fell, as by a double death, both on the selfsame day with murderous blow, smiting and being smitten, now I hold their thrones, and all their power of sovereignty by nearness of my kindred to the dead. And hard it is to learn what each man is, in heart and mind and judgment, till he gain experience in princedom and in laws. For me, who e'er is called to guide a state, and does not catch at counsels wise and good, but holds his peace through any fear of man, I deem him basest of all men that are, and so have deemed long since. And whosoe'er as worthier than his country counts his friend, I utterly despise him. I myself, Zeus be my witness, who beholdeth all, would not keep silence, seeing danger come, instead of safety to my subjects true. Nor could I take as friend my country's foe. For this I know that there our safety lies, and sailing while the good ship holds her course, we gather friends around us. By these rules, and such as these, do I maintain this state. And now I come, with edicts close allied to these in spirit, for my citizens concerning those 2 sons of Oedipus. Eteocles, who died in deeds of might illustrious, fighting for our fatherland, to honour him with sepulture, all rites duly performed that to the noblest dead of right belong. Not so his brother. Him I speak of, Polyneikes, who, returned from exile, sought with fire to desolate his father's city and the shrines of gods. Yes, sought to glut his rage with blood of men, and lead them captives to the bond-slave's doom. Him I decree that none shall dare entomb, that none shall utter wail or loud lament, but leave his corpse unburied, by the dogs and vultures mangled, foul to look upon. Such is my purpose. Ne'er, if I can help, shall the vile have more honour than the just. But whoso shows himself my country's friend, living or dead, from me shall honour gain. Chorus. This is thy pleasure, O Meneceus' son, for him who hated, him who loved our state, and thou hast power to make what laws thou wilt, both for the dead and all of us who live. Creon. Be ye then guardians of the things I speak. Chorus. Commit this task to one of younger years. Creon. Nay, watchmen are appointed for the corpse. Chorus. What other task then dost thou lay on us? Creon. Not to consent with those that disobey. Chorus. None are so foolish as to seek for death. Creon. Yet that shall be the doom. But love of gain hath oft with false hopes lured men to their death. Enter Guard. Guard. I will not say, O king, that I have come panting with speed and plying nimble feet, for I had many halting points of thought, backwards and forwards turning, round and round, for now my mind would give me sage advice. Poor wretch, why go where thou must bear the blame? Or wilt thou tarry, fool? Shall Creon know these things from others? How wilt thou 'scape grief? Revolving thus, I came in haste, yet slow, and thus a short way finds itself prolonged, but, last of all, to come to thee prevailed. And though I tell of naught, yet I will speak. For this one hope I cling to, might and main, that I shall suffer naught but destiny. Creon. What is it then that causes such dismay? Guard. First, for mine own share in it, this I say, the deed I did not, do not know who did, nor should I rightly come to ill for it. Creon. Thou feel'st thy way, and fencest up thy deed all round and round. 'Twould seem thou hast some news. Guard. Yea, news of fear engenders long delay. Creon. Wilt thou not speak, and then depart in peace? Guard. Well, speak I will. The corpse some one has been but now and buried it, a little dust o'er the skin scattering, with the wonted rites. Creon. What say'st thou? What man dared this deed of guilt? Guard. I know not. Neither was there stroke of axe, nor earth cast up by mattock. All the soil was dry and hard, no track of chariot wheel. But he who did it went and left no sign. And when the first day watchman showed it us, the sight caused wonder and sore grief to all. For he had disappeared. No tomb indeed was over him, but dust all lightly strown, as by some hand that shunned defiling guilt. And no sign was there of wild beast or dog having come and torn him. Evil words arose among us, guard to guard imputing blame, which might have come to blows, and none was there to check its course. For each to each appeared the man whose hand had done it. Yet not one had brought it home, but each disclaimed all knowledge. And we were ready in our hands to take bars of hot iron, and to walk through fire, and call the gods to witness none of us were privy to his schemes who planned the deed, nor his who wrought it. Then at last, when naught was gained by all our searching, some one speaks, who made us bend our gaze upon the ground in fear and trembling, for we neither saw how to oppose it, nor, accepting it, how we might prosper in it. And his speech was this, that all our tale should go to thee, not hushed up anywise. This gained the day, and me ill-starred the lot condemns to win this precious prize. So here I come to thee against my will, and surely do I trow thou dost not wish to see me. Still 'tis true that no man loves the messenger of ill. Chorus. For me, my prince, my mind sometime has thought if this perchance has some divine intent. Creon. Cease then before thou fillest me with wrath, lest thou be found, though full of years, a fool. For what thou say'st is most intolerable, that for this corpse the providence of gods has any care. What? Have they buried him? As to their patron paying honours high, who came to waste their columned shrines with fire, to desecrate their offerings and their lands and all their wonted customs? Dost thou see the gods approving men of evil deeds? It is not so. But men of rebel mood, lifting their head in secret long ago, still murmured thus against me. Never yet had they their neck beneath the yoke, content to bear it with submission. They, I know, have bribed these men to let the deed be done. No thing in use by man, for power of ill, can equal money. This lays cities low, this drives men forth from quiet dwelling place, this warps and changes minds of worthiest stamp, to turn to deeds of baseness, teaching men all shifts of cunning, and to know the guilt of every impious deed. But they who hired have wrought this crime, have laboured to their cost, or soon or late to pay the penalty. But if Zeus still claims any awe from me, know this, and with an oath I tell it thee, unless ye find the very man whose hand has wrought this burial, and before mine eyes present him captive, death shall not suffice, till first, hung up still living, ye shall show the story of this outrage, that henceforth, knowing what gain is lawful, ye may grasp at that, and learn it is not meet to love gain from all quarters. By base profit one, you will see, more destroyed than prospering. Guard. May I then speak, or shall I turn and go? Creon. Seest not even yet how vexing are thy words? Guard. Is it thine ears they trouble, or thy soul? Creon. Why dost thou gauge my trouble where it is? Guard. The doer grieves thy heart, but I thine ears. Creon. Pshaw! What a babbler! Born to prate art thou. Guard. May be, yet I this deed at least did not. Creon. Yes, and for money, selling e'en thy soul. Guard. Ah me, how dire it is in thinking false to think. Creon. Prate about thinking, but unless ye show to me the doers, ye shall say ere long that scoundrel gains still work their punishment. [Exit. Guard. God send we find him. Should we find him not, as well may be, for this must chance decide, you will not see me coming here again. For now being safe beyond all hope of mine, beyond all thought, I owe the gods much thanks. [Exit. Strophe I. Chorus. Many the forms of life, wondrous and strange to see, but naught than man appears more wondrous and more strange. He with the wintry gales o'er the white foaming sea, mid wild waves surging round, wendeth his way across. Earth of all gods, from ancient days the first, unworn and undecayed. He with his ploughs that travel o'er and o'er, furrowing with horse and mule, wears ever year by year. Antistrophe I. The thoughtless tribe of birds, the beasts that roam the fields, the brood in sea depths born, he takes them all in nets knotted in snaring mesh. Man, wonderful in skill, and by his subtle arts he holds in sway the beasts that roam the fields, or tread the mountain's height, and brings the binding yoke upon the neck of horse with shaggy mane, or bull on mountain crest, untamable in strength. Strophe II. And speech and thought as swift as wind, and tempered mood for higher life of states, these he has learnt, and how to flee, or the clear cold of frost unkind, or darts of storm and shower, man all providing. Unprovided, he meeteth no chance the coming days may bring. Only from Hades still he fails to find escape, though skill of art may teach him how to flee from depths of fell disease incurable.